Saints-Rams NFC Championship game in overtime. Drew Brees 6-0 at home in the playoffs with the Saints with a 14-2 touchdown to interception ratio. All that to say, he never does this in the dome in the postseason. An interception on the first drive of overtime. John Johnson III giving the ball to Jared Goff, who turns it over to Greg Zuerlein, who attempts a 57-yard field goal for the win and a trip to Atlanta in Super Bowl 53. They are going 26-23, the final score.
Growing up in Atlanta, it's awesome. I think my parents are probably a little bit more excited about it than I am, but this is about our football team. This is about the Rams versus whoever we play, and we're excited to be able to continue our season.
That's amazing. I can't be more proud of this team, the effort it took to stay in this game. What an amazing atmosphere. We knew it was a long task to come in here and win, but what a team effort.
Hard work pay off. We came a long way, stayed together, played together as a team, and finished strong, man. That's what it's about. We go to the Super Bowl.
It's the day after in Thousand Oaks. Has it sunk in yet? How are McVay's parents doing? Omar Ruiz with the latest on the Rams.
Rams preparations for Super Bowl 53 continue, including holding their team's Super Bowl meeting, where players are instructed how to deal with logistics for their families, ticket situation, and other important information for a team that counts just 4 players with previous Super Bowl experience. Well, much of the outside football world, especially in New Orleans, continues to focus on the blown pass interference call from yesterday's NFC Championship game. I asked Rams general manager Les Snead about his thoughts on the non-call. He replied by saying, "You mean the missed face masking penalty near the goal line on Jared Goff?" The point being that calls were missed on both sides. The Rams certainly moving on. A little tougher to do that in New Orleans today. For more with the Saints, here's Jane Slater.
Well, this was the headline on the local paper that I think pretty much sums up the sentiment in New Orleans. It reads, "Reffing unbelievable." It was a tough scene in that locker room following that loss. Saints running back Mark Ingram with his head down, a hoodie covering his face, and barely able to formulate words when I asked him to describe how he felt and the way that that game ended. His teammate to the left, tears just kept streaming down his face. He kept his back turned to us and was one of the last ones lingering in that locker room as both the media and players exited. It was Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas who said to me when I told him that the league had in fact come back and said that that pass interference call should have been made, he said, "Well, what are we going to do, ask for a rematch?" And it was offensive lineman Jermon Bushrod who also had a pretty strong admonishment of it, saying the city simply didn't deserve this.
You got to keep in mind that this was a rematch of a game that was played back in Week 9. In that game, it was a shootout between the two high-powered offenses. This time, though, the LA Rams defense stepped up, held the Saints to just 23 points. Remember, the score was 13-0 New Orleans at the end of the first quarter, so completely slowed or shut them down the rest of the way. Let's do a little film study right now with these guys. Willie McGinnis is rubbing his hands together to break down how Wade Phillips guys got it done. Willie.
I love it. And the first thing you just talked about, you got to limit opportunities of getting in the end zone. You got to slow down the running game and then stop Mike Thomas. But it all started with the trenches, with the defensive line and what they did. So when you watch Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh right here, here's Aaron Donald right here. It's not really a double team, but he gets off the ball so fast and he gets penetration into the backfield. He hits the fullback, takes out 2 guys, and then still gets in the backfield to make the tackle on Ingram. Okay, and then you got Ndamukong Suh going against a tight end, Griffin. This is a mismatch. Don't ever line up a tight end over Ndamukong Suh. You see what happens. It's disrespectful. And then he lets him go because he felt sorry for him. And, Donald said, "I'll finish the job."
4 yards back.
And then here's Thomas right here. They do a good job of playing a double team with Talib and the safety off the ball. We call this a vice. Did a good job of taking him away and allowing Dante Fowler, who was an addition to the team, get around the edge, and then the guys up the middle did a great job of getting to the quarterback. So what they did was they took away those options outside, and the defensive line, they got there in the pass rush, and they made it tough for Drew Brees.
And you know what else I thought was huge? The Saints had 2 possessions in the first half of the first quarter.
Right.
Both of them got into the red zone. They came away with 6 points.
Yeah. That was
2
huge.
red zone drives, just 2 field goals.
That's a little slow.
All right,
move right there,
DC.
I saw that. I don't like slow moves.
DC, you are up right now, and you're going to flip it over to the AFC title game here. And shocker, shocker, it's all about TB12.
Well, as it should be, because the guy was absolutely incredible. I know we say this over and over, and maybe Willie's tired of it. I'm not, right? It's great quarterback play. What he did on 3rd down in that last drive in overtime It was fantastic. I mean, we'll show you. They lined up in 2 deep, man underneath coverage, but they motion because they know they're going to play 2-man. And they get the combo, but they blow the combo. Julian puts his hand up. Tom almost doesn't believe it because never is a guy this wide open. He has to kind of double clutch. He's like, am I throwing this into coverage? No, first down, big play. They come back with the same coverage, same motion, and we're still going to get him to mess it up. Now they're going to try and play it different. Corner's going to back off. Okay, I'll just run with him then. Well, you try to run with him. And the greatness of Tom Brady is this accuracy. I mean, are you kidding me? He doesn't have to throw it 70 yards down the field, but it's a perfect throw in the most crucial time. And then again, okay, now we got to change it up. We'll play single high safety. We'll bring the safety down. We're going to work Gronkowski. Brady holds the safety right in the middle of the field, right where he's doing absolutely nothing, and throws a strike to Rob Gronkowski. They pick up 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 10 on that drive to go down there and win the football game. That's why they won the football game. Not because Tom Brady's always done it, because he did it. It's fantastic.
And he just kept KC's defense off balance. The only guy who has Brady figured out is Tony Romo, and he's up in the press box, so that doesn't count. He can call out the plays before they happen. That didn't matter. Right. TB12 going for his 6th Super Bowl ring. You know who has 6 rings?
Nobody.
No.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Nobody in football.
Nobody in football has it right there.